welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. Jim, what the hell did you do this weekend?
Whoa, what didn't I do? What didn't I do?
Jimmy Failla.
First of all, and I think this would be considered the signature contribution to society, I hosted Fox News Saturday Night with a guy in the audience that might have been your brother.
That's right. And my beloved, sweet, innocent, hardworking, kind niece was called a prostitute on the show.
On live TV in front of millions. She's thankfully a good sport about it. I told her, hey, when we come back from break, I'm going to be in the audience with my arm around you, and I'll just find a creative way to make fun of you. And did I ever? Thankfully, she was a sport, but it's worth noting, okay? I had heard a rumor your brother was coming.
Yeah.
I didn't want to address it with him directly, okay?
But here's the funny thing. I wasn't on your show this weekend.
I know.
They didn't care. It wasn't like, oh, you're not on Jimmy's show? Oh, well, we'll just go on some other time when we're in town. No. They were like, I was like, hey, Brian, what are you doing tomorrow night? He's like, going on Jimmy's show. I'm going to be in the audience. I was like, oh, I'm not on tomorrow. I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's why we're going.
Great.
Nothing like the sibling support.
Yeah.
But yes, I did a show with Brian in the audience and aimed every single joke for him, like for that sensibility. And I was like, thank God you were here because this was going to tank because that was the one laugh I knew I had in the bank because everything was written in like a 7th grade boys locker room sensibility. And normally, we do it at like 6th. So to bump up to 7, we needed that one 7th grader. So that was great. The Faillas did a lot of driving in the Bronco.
Oh, boy.
Lincoln had a block party to go to. So Jenny and I made a little dinner, some wings in the smoker, kept it local, and drove the pants off that white Bronco of ours. That's what we did, Strong Island.
Did you get the white because of OJ?
Yes. It is. I've never had.
Is the color in the Ford catalog called OJ White?
It's called OJ White. We haven't had an argument since I rolled that thing into the driveway.
Speaking of which, OJ always said, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
He used to say that. So do you want to know the other thing we did, though? And you might appreciate this. Took Lincoln Failla before he took off for his block party. He was going to a sleepover. It was like a big to-do. But we took him to see the new Naked Gun Saturday afternoon.
Now I have to know how it was.
Yeah, you do.
Because I've heard good things. I heard it wasn't horrible.
No, it's not horrible. It's a C+, in comparative to the other ones.
Yeah.
And a very generous C+.
Naked Gun, A+, out of the park.
Some of the best comedies ever made, ever
150%
written,
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ever acted. And I understand this one is getting pretty good reviews. There are 4 or 5.
Is it because our expectations are so low? Because the world is so unfunny right now and has been for 5 years?
I think there's definitely a part of that. Like, there's an appetite for this movie and its reputation to do, things that are a little against that PC grain. They're a little out there. And there are 4 or 5 really good bits, like really well-written, conceptualized bits.
As good as, hey, nice beaver.
They're not on that level, but there's a few good ones. I don't want to spoil it, but I think the bigger issue for me, okay, and this matters, is like Liam Neeson beats people up in every movie. Every movie that he's in. So the idea that he's beating people up in this movie isn't comedic. It just looks miscast. Leslie Nielsen, who was a classical actor and an old man with white hair, the violence looked funny coming from him.
Yeah.
Whereas Liam Neeson, this just looks like an extra Taken scene.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that part I didn't buy. Pamela Anderson was good. There were some very good bits.
You have worked with her in the past.
Thank you.
So how was it working with her knowing how she is in her civilian life?
Well, this is an interesting thing. Pamela Anderson has the most angelic voice you've ever heard for about 3 minutes. The first 3 minutes, you are in a state of arousal. Minute 4, I told Lincoln, I'm like, she walked in for 3 minutes, you're like, I think I'm going to run away and marry this woman. Minute 4, you're like, if she could catch fire. Like, Lord, if there were a way. Because she has this voice that's
I realize we're inside and surrounded by rubber tires, but please, if you could send an errant lightning bolt and just strike her in the head.
Really cool and really unique till it ain't. But she was fun to work with. Sounds like from the tabloids, Liam Neeson might have enjoyed working with her more than I did because I didn't know her on that level, and just in case Jenny's watching. And I kid. But so I went there wanting to root for the movie.
Yeah.
But I left there knowing why the Zucker brothers said they're not going to watch it. Because Jeff Zucker said, I'm not like leading a boycott. I just don't want to see it because they didn't want to include me in this.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it either.
Yeah, that would be a problem. I mean, they wrote this thing. They created this concept, and they're being told, no, this is going to happen without you. Like, I'm not a huge U2 fan, but if 25 years from now, a band went on tour called U2 and none of them were in it?
Yeah.
Are you going to a U2 concert? That's the point. So I don't think it should have been called The Naked Gun.
Yeah.
That's my bigger gripe. Top Gun could be Top Gun because Tom Cruise was still in it.
Yes.
Different animal.
Val Kilmer was still in it. God rest his soul.
Thank you. And that was, I think, my bigger gripe. But it was funny. It's just not, when you watch it, The Naked Gun was the type of movie that was so well written and it had such a great economy with humor that it's truly the best example of things you have to go back to watch. Like, they say, I missed it. I had to go back and watch it. That doesn't happen in this movie. If there's something I didn't see, maybe, because Jenny was probably trying to get frisky.
So I saw Borat twice in the theater, at least. But I remember seeing it the second time because I started laughing before stuff happened.
Yes.
Because I was so excited to see it again.
Yeah.
Because it was so jam-packed. You can't believe what you're watching. And you're ready to be just aghast again.
Yeah.
And, Naked Gun is the same way. I tried to watch it with my daughter, the original, a few years ago. And she's like, that's not funny. I'm like, yes, it is. It's because he falls into a bear trap and then a hot radiator.
It's about absurdity. It's about absurdity.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
So they try to deploy a lot of those types of gimmicks, and sometimes it's done really well. It's never not done well. It's just, it's in a way that doesn't read, because the original had this heart, because he's playing on the, the notion that these cops are inherently lazy and lovelorn and horny, and he's always like losing, and it's great. The Naked Gun opens.
It's not for you, Frank.
As it opens with him coming off a plane, and they're like, it's not for you, Frank. Weird Al Yankovic's on the plane. So he's already been kicked in the nuts. Then he gets on the highway, and they pass the oil refineries.
Everything I see
reminds me of her, and it's looks like nipples, all I know is he's a gymnast and it's the best sex she's ever had in her life. So it's like a guy whose relationship is going bad, but everybody he turns to makes it worse. And it's comedic. It's absurd. They don't quite get to those heights. So there's nothing in this movie that's going to penetrate our vernacular. Whereas The Naked Gun, for as long as we've been alive, we've bonded over that.
Yes.
And I don't think it's there, but it's good. It is absolutely worth a watch.
Obviously, O.J. Simpson could not reprise his role because he's passed on to hell. Did they have Diddy in that role? Was he was Diddy Nordberg?
Where's Chris Brown when you need him? I mean, come on. There's plenty of people that could have got that role. No, they went with Sydney Sweeney. I kid. But no. So
I haven't heard much about her lately.
Yeah, she's been quiet. She's kind of laying low right now, keeping a low profile. But the point is, and this kind of ties into that, what I think people liked out of The Naked Gun in terms of nostalgia is to go back to this moment when things that were supposed to be fun were just fun. We didn't look to them for cultural battlegrounds. That's the lesson maybe the left will learn from the Sydney Sweeney thing is we've evolved back to where we started, which is nobody ever signed up to pretend what happens in an American Eagle ad is some type of cultural touchstone.
That's
let alone
what the
a
Nazis
commentary
are
on
doing.
Nazism.
We've tried the YouTube videos and various podcasts. We're not getting any traction. How about American Eagle?
Does anybody know a jeans company with a Jewish CEO? Maybe we can get that guy. That's what they did. So for the escapism of The Naked Gun taking us back to that other era, I applaud it. But it's not The Naked Gun, and it's not on the level of the not even remotely
I think Sydney
close.
Sweeney was more escapism than that. But let me ask you this: does being outed as a Republican hurt her? Because being a Nazi propagandist will not. That doesn't matter. This entire conversation only elevates her. But is it bad for her in Hollywood to be a registered Republican?
I actually don't think so, because there was that Pew poll that came out last week that voters between the ages of 18 and 29, female shifted the Republicans by 29 points in the last 2 years. Male voters between the ages of 18 and 29 swung to the right by 44 points since 2023.
That I believe.
And that is we have not seen an exodus of men like that since Tim Walz deleted his search history. I mean, that's a lot of men skipping town. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of guys that Tim was going to buy tampons for.
Gone.
Yeah.
So I don't think it hurts because
It's Tampax. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I just want you to have that.
Just take it. But I think on some level, Hollywood has to wake up to the fact that a lot of the market, the majority of the market, is on the right side right now. I mean, think of NBC having Greg on. Gutfeld's going on Fallon. And in somewhere in the recesses of their mind, they had to realize, hey, maybe it was dumb to alienate all the people watching Fox.
They were the least guilty of that.
Of course. To his credit.
I'm curious what Kimmel does at this point.
But hasn't reached out, if you're wondering.
I mean, but
I know.
Kimmel was the one who was like, oh, you don't like me because I hate Trump? Too bad. Don't watch my show. Like, he was actively alienating Trump voters, which is like kind of dumb.
Yep. But he wanted to host the Oscars. And in order to host the Oscars, he's got to pay, it's kind of like a woke reparation because he has done 5,000 fireable things during his time at the Man Show. And Carolla stayed in that lane, to enduring credit to Adam Carolla for being like, no, this is just what I am. I don't owe this other thing some type of oath of solidarity because you're mad at what I did 20 years ago. Because I think what Carolla has proven more than anybody is that these people never had any power or numbers behind them. Meaning that it was always a tyranny of the minority when it came to cancel culture. And they were making the public kind of unwillingly be like, we've got to be mad about who's in the movie. We've got to be mad if the joke's punching up or punching down. But we never felt that way as a majority, And I think him standing his own ground is a good example of showing how you can give these people the finger and not lose your audience. Because Carolla's still huge.
Yes.
So he gets some credit for that.
He does not have gangrene on that finger.
No matter what they tell you.
I mean, they will.
Yeah, well, listen.
If I fail, if I succeed.
No matter what they take from me. No, they can take away your dignity.
They did it a long time ago. All right. Go have a wonderful week. This has been Kennedy Saves the World along with Jimmy Failla. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.